My name is Kayla. I'm 22 years old, a full-time stay-at-home mom, and married to a man I thought I knew. His name is Drew, 24, the kind of guy who'd win you over with his shy smile and quiet charm. We got married just over a month ago. It wasn't a big wedding, just us, a few friends, some family, and our 2-year-old son, Jackson, running around in his little dress shoes. I was 5 months pregnant with our second at the time, glowing with the kind of hope you only get when you truly believe life is falling into place. I thought we were happy. I thought we were building a future. I thought I knew the man I married. But something started to shift. It was subtle at first. Drew got quiet. He started staying on his phone longer than usual, always tilted away from me when he was using it. He used to hold me every night. Now, he turned away. He'd pull back when I tried to kiss him, brush off my hand if I reached for his. At first, I thought it was stress. He works early hours. He leaves for work at 5 a.m. sharp, so maybe he was just tired. But I knew better. There's a kind of coldness that tired can't explain. A kind of distance that can't be blamed on sleep. Then last night happened, and everything broke. We were sitting on the couch. Jackson had finally gone down for the night after what felt like an hour of cartoons and crackers and spilled water. Drew was scrolling through his phone, locked into whatever screen had his attention. I watched him for a minute, his blank face, his thumbs twitching, his eyes moving fast. My stomach twisted. That deep, sick kind of twist like you know something's wrong before the truth even arrives. I didn't want to accuse him. I didn't want to make something out of nothing. But I also couldn't sit in silence anymore. "Hey," I said quietly, "can I see your phone?" He looked up like he hadn't heard me right. "Huh. Your phone. I just want to look through it." He blinked, confused for a second. Then he handed it over. It was too easy. That should have been my first red flag. He had 2 Facebook accounts installed. I already knew about this. He told me a week ago that his old account had been hacked, so he made a new one. I didn't question it at the time. People get hacked. It happens. But when I clicked on the old Facebook account, I was shocked to find that it logged in without any issues. No verification, no password reset, nothing. Just open, and nothing seemed off on either account. No sketchy messages, no suspicious posts. Everything seemed normal. I moved to Snapchat. That's when things got strange. There was a message from him to some random girl, just one, from a week ago. The message wasn't saved, so I couldn't read what it said, but it was the only outgoing snap. I asked him about it. He shrugged and said he must have accidentally slid up on her story while putting his phone in his pocket. "Seriously," I said, not even trying to hide the doubt in my voice. He held his hands up like he couldn't care less. I didn't even realize. It was an accident. Maybe, I didn't argue, but something still didn't feel right. Then I opened Google Chrome, and my entire body went cold. There was a Facebook tab open in the browser, different from the 2 accounts already installed on the app. I clicked on it. It was logged into an account named something ridiculous, Big Dick McGee. I'm not joking. That was the actual name. No profile picture. No friends. Birthday listed as April 20th, 1969. Gender? Whole pole. I stared at the screen in disbelief. What the hell? I turned the phone toward Drew and said, "What is this?" He glanced at it and burst out laughing, like full-on loud laughter, like it was the funniest thing he'd ever seen. "That's hilarious," he said between chuckles. "I have no idea what that is." "You don't know?" I said. "It's logged in, on your phone, through your number." His smile dropped for just a second, but then he shrugged. "Must have been hackers." "Hackers?" I repeated. "Hackers named Big Dick McGee who use your number and your password?" He swore up and down. He swore on his mom. He swore on his sister who passed away last year. He swore on Jackson, on our unborn baby, on our marriage. His voice cracked like he meant it. His eyes were wide, almost tearful. He looked me dead in the face and said, "I would never do that to you. I didn't make that account, but I knew. Deep down, I already knew." Still, a part of me wanted to believe him. That part that remembered our wedding vows. That part that saw the man who held my hair when I was sick during pregnancy, who made me grilled cheese at 2 a.m., who painted the nursery without me asking. I wanted to believe the man I loved wouldn't lie like this, wouldn't cheat, wouldn't manipulate. But that man, he wasn't sitting in front of me. I told him to go to bed. It was late. He had to wake up early. I didn't want to fight anymore. I just needed time to think, to breathe, to figure out what I was looking at. He kissed my cheek and went to sleep like nothing happened. I stayed up and dug deeper. I tried logging into the Big Dick McGee account on my phone, using his phone number and the password I know he uses for everything. The one he's used since high school. It worked. It freaking worked. Still, he denied it. The next morning, he doubled down. Said I was crazy. Accused me of making the account to frame him. Said I was the only other person who knew his password. He made me feel like I was losing my mind, gaslighting me like I didn't have the evidence right in front of me. I posted online, desperate for someone to tell me I wasn't crazy. That's when a kind stranger messaged me and told me to check the Facebook activity log. I did. And what I found shattered me. The account was created March 20th, 2022. Drew asked me to be his girlfriend on March 21st, 2022. He's had that fake account since the day before we started dating, logged into it, used it, visited it multiple times over the years. The IP address matches, the login locations match. It's him. All of it is him. And now I'm sitting here, staring at our wedding photo on the mantle. Our son's toys scattered across the floor. My swollen belly reminding me that I don't just have to protect myself, I have to protect 2 kids. And I'm about to confront a man I no longer recognize. The man who promised me forever. The man who looked me in the eyes and lied. I didn't sleep that night. I lay next to him, barely breathing, staring at the ceiling while his soft snore echoed beside me like some sick reminder of how easy it was for him to lie and sleep peacefully afterward. I used to feel safe next to him. Now, all I felt was dread. Every memory we'd built was suddenly tainted, smeared with doubt. If he could carry on a secret life for years, what else could he hide? The next morning, I didn't pretend. I didn't smile or make breakfast or ask how work was. I just sat there, quietly packing Jackson's little backpack, moving robotically, mind racing, preparing for what had to be done. I was done giving him the benefit of the doubt. I had everything I needed. I took screenshots of the account details, the login history, the IP matches, the linked phone number, and every single trace that tied that disgusting account to him. I printed them. I laid them all out on the table. If he wanted to lie again, I was going to make him lie to my face, with the proof between us. When he got home, I didn't even let him take his boots off. We need to talk. He blinked at me, then at the pile of papers spread across the table. His eyes narrowed. Are you seriously still on about that fake account? I stayed calm. I checked the activity log. You made the account the day before you asked me out. You've logged into it regularly since. The IP address matches the one from our home. It's linked to your number and your password. He scoffed. Actually scoffed. Wow. You really don't trust me at all, do you? I stared at him, deadpan. How could I? He walked over to the table, flipped through the papers like they were some annoying homework assignment. This proves nothing. Anyone could have used my number. No, I said firmly. This proves everything. The logins are from our home network, our IP. You logged in from Chrome on your phone. It's saved in the browser. The same night I caught you. He ran his hands through his hair, pacing now. You don't know what you're talking about. This is crazy, Kayla. You're literally paranoid. Then tell me, I said, voice cold now. Why create a fake Facebook account with that name? For what? Why hide it? He stopped pacing, and then, for a split second, something flickered in his expression. Guilt. Panic. Then, just as quickly, it was gone. His voice dropped lower, defensive. You're trying to destroy our family over a stupid joke account? No, I snapped. You're destroying it. I've been nothing but loyal to you. I gave you everything. My trust, my body, my youth. I've carried your children. And you lie to me. You gaslight me. You accuse me of hacking your life to frame you? What kind of man does that? Silence. I could see it. The gears in his head turning, trying to figure out the next lie, the next manipulation. Instead, he sat down. Okay, he muttered. Fine. I made the account. I said nothing. But it wasn't for cheating, he rushed out. It was just something stupid. Just something for laughs, a joke with a buddy. I never messaged anyone from it. You saw, no messages, no posts. It's just a dumb thing I never deleted. I wanted to believe that. I really did. But something about his tone, it wasn't apologetic. It wasn't even ashamed. It was annoyed, like he was irritated that I found it, not sorry he did it. Then why hide it? I asked. Why log in secretly? Why lie about being hacked? Why swear on your sister's grave? On our son? He looked down at the table, at the mess of papers that had cornered him. Then he looked up at me. I didn't want to fight. That was it. Not. I didn't want to hurt you. Not. I regret it. Just. I didn't want to fight. And with that, something inside me broke. This wasn't about some fake Facebook account. It was about what he showed me when he got caught. How quickly he'd lie. How cruelly he'd turn the blame. How calmly he'd use our child and his own dead sister as shields to protect himself from the consequences. I had 2 babies to think about now. One in my arms, one in my belly. And this man, he was a danger to my peace, to my sanity, to the kind of home I wanted to raise them in. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I stood up, walked to the bedroom, took out the suitcase and started packing. He followed me. You're seriously leaving? I'm getting my affairs in order, I said quietly. That's it? You're giving up? No, I said, finally facing him. I'm choosing myself. I'm choosing my children. I'm choosing to leave before this gets worse. Because if you can lie like this now, I can't even imagine what comes next. He tried to stop me. He said all the things liars say when the jig is up. He'd change. He'd get therapy. He'd delete the account. He loved me. He needed me. But it all rang hollow. I saw the truth now, raw and unfiltered. He wasn't sorry. He was sorry he got caught. I stayed with my sister that night. The next morning, I called a lawyer. And as I sat in her office, hand on my belly, Jackson playing with a stuffed bear in the corner, I realized something. I was free. Not broken. Not ruined. Free. Because I finally saw the man behind the mask, and I chose not to be fooled again. Leaving wasn't easy. Not emotionally, not financially, not logistically. I had spent every single day of the last 2 years building my life around Drew, around the idea of us, around the false sense of stability I thought he provided. Our apartment was under his name. I didn't have my own income. My world revolved around diapers, meal prepping, laundry, and late-night rocking chairs. I wasn't just leaving a man, I was stepping off a cliff into the unknown with a toddler on one hip and another baby on the way. But what terrified me more than the unknown was staying. The next few days were a blur. I moved in with my sister temporarily. She had a tiny guest room with a mattress on the floor. But to me, it felt like a sanctuary, a safe space where I could breathe, where I didn't have to feel like I was being watched, judged, doubted. Jackson adjusted surprisingly well. Kids are more resilient than we give them credit for. He didn't ask for daddy. I think in some unspoken way he could sense the tension long before it exploded. Drew texted, called, left voicemails, some angry, some pathetic, some eerily calm. You're overreacting. You're throwing away everything over a stupid profile. You're tearing our family apart. If you don't come home, I'm going for full custody. That last one nearly made me vomit. It's one thing to betray me. It's another to threaten my son's security just to regain control. I didn't respond. Instead, I documented everything. Every message, every voicemail, every call log. I forwarded them all to my attorney, who immediately filed for temporary custody and a protective order, just in case. Because when someone shows you who they are, and you finally believe them, You learn to act quickly. The day we went to family court for the temporary hearing, Drew showed up in a suit and tie, acting like a wounded soldier. He gave the judge a performance straight out of a soap opera, claimed I had mental health issues, postpartum rage, accused me of fabricating evidence to punish him for not giving me enough attention. He even brought his mother to speak on his behalf, who, by the way, had always hated me quietly but smiled in my face. I stayed quiet. Then I let my lawyer speak. And when she laid out the documented evidence, the screenshots, the login data, the messages, the gaslighting tactics, something shifted in the room. Even the judge's demeanor changed. It didn't matter how charming Drew tried to be. The facts didn't lie. I was granted temporary primary custody and child support. Drew was given supervised visitation, pending a full psychological evaluation. And as we left the courtroom, he stared at me like he didn't even recognize me. I think that was the moment he realized. I wasn't the soft, forgiving girl who used to cry when he raised his voice. I wasn't the one who'd plead for honesty, beg for crumbs of truth, cling to promises that meant nothing. I was done. In the weeks that followed, I started rebuilding. I signed up for WIC, started a small Etsy shop selling digital prints, and began therapy with a local counselor who specialized in postpartum trauma. My sister helped babysit. I took online courses at night, determined to finish the degree I abandoned when I got pregnant at 20. And slowly, day by day, I started becoming someone new, someone stronger. One night, I opened up that folder on my phone, the one with all the evidence I had gathered. I scrolled through it slowly, not with sadness, but with clarity. I looked at the fake account name, Big Dick McGee, and for the first time since it all began, I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was pathetic. That was what shattered my marriage. A juvenile, idiotic alter ego he thought he could hide behind. And yet, in some twisted way, it gave me a gift. It gave me the truth. And the truth set me free. A few months later, the divorce was finalized. I didn't cry when the papers came through. I just sat quietly, staring at the signature line, knowing that the woman signing at the bottom of the page was no longer naive, no longer dependent, no longer willing to beg for scraps of loyalty. I was no longer Kayla, the wife of Drew. I was Kayla, the mother of two, the survivor of a betrayal so ridiculous it bordered on surreal, and the author of my own damn story. The final months of the year passed in chapters. Some painful, some beautiful, all necessary. I was officially single, but never alone. My days were filled with baby kicks, bedtime stories, and figuring out how to stretch a dollar farther than it was ever meant to go. I'd sit by the window late at night, rubbing my belly, whispering promises to the child growing inside me. I told them I'd never allow lies to poison their childhood. I'd never make excuses for a man who couldn't protect our peace. I told them they'd grow up watching a mother who stood up, for herself, for them, and for truth. Drew tried, a few more times. He showed up at my sister's place once, unannounced, holding a teddy bear and fake tears. Said he missed Jackson, said he missed me, said we could still fix it all if I just came home. I didn't let him in. I didn't even open the door. I called the police, reported the violation of the court's no-contact order, and made sure it was documented. He never tried again after that. I didn't want revenge. I didn't want him to suffer. I just wanted him out of my life, and I wanted peace. The day I gave birth to my second son was quiet and intimate. My sister was with me in the hospital room, holding my hand, coaching me through the final pushes. The moment I heard that first cry, I broke into tears, not because of pain, but because I had done it. I brought life into this world while carrying the weight of betrayal, of abandonment, of heartbreak. And I still came out stronger. I named him Elias, after my grandfather, a man of integrity and wisdom. Drew didn't come to the hospital. He didn't get a text. He didn't deserve to be there. He'd later find out through a court update and try to argue for visitation, but my lawyer made sure every step went through legal review. No loopholes, no manipulation. I was in control now. It's funny how something as ridiculous as a fake Facebook account with a name like Big Dick McGee could rip the curtain off someone's character. But that's the thing about liars. They never expect you to look too close. They count on you being too tired, too trusting, too in love to dig. And for a while, I was all of those things. But not anymore. Now I look. Now I ask questions. Now I trust my gut. Because the night I listened to that gut feeling changed everything. It saved me. I still get messages from other women sometimes, women going through similar betrayals. They ask how I knew, how I found the strength to leave, how I managed as a single mom. I tell them the truth. I didn't feel strong in the beginning. I felt broken. But strength isn't loud. It's not always brave or bold. Sometimes it's the quiet decision to say, I deserve better. Sometimes it's leaving a man who laughs in your face when you ask for honesty. Sometimes it's packing a diaper bag, taking your baby, and walking away with nothing but your dignity. And sometimes, just sometimes, it's finding the courage to laugh again. Not because the pain didn't matter, but because it doesn't define you anymore. 1 year later, I'm still standing, still learning, still healing. I've built a small business, completed 2 semesters of online classes, and watched my babies grow without the shadow of a liar hanging over our heads. I no longer wonder what Drew's doing. I don't check his accounts. I don't look for closure. I have nothing left to ask from him. Because I gave myself all the closure I need. I chose truth over comfort, and that was the beginning of everything. Hit that like button if you believe in karma, and don't forget to subscribe for more true stories that prove betrayal never wins.